Okay, great. Please.
Her timeless power that lay once on the lap of a beginningless and endless calm, now severed from the spirit's immortal bliss, erects the type of all the joys she has lost, compelling transient substance into shape. She hopes by her creative act's release to o'erleap sometimes the gulf she cannot fill, to heal a while the wound of severance, escape from the moment's prison of littleness, and meet the eternal's wide sublimities in the uncertain time field portioned here. So, yes, we see so much here, and I just want to go back a few moments to see, of course, these kingdoms and godheads of the greater life, Canto 6. We see that this creatrix, this who wants to leap ahead and continue creating and actually evolving. So we see that her timeless power that one time lay on the lap of a beginningless and endless calm wall, now severed from the spirit's immortal bliss, erects the type of all the joys she has lost. And what does she have to do? Compelling transient substance into shape. When we sever something, of course, we separate it from the whole. We divide it. So it is now divided from the spirit's immortal bliss. And therefore, she erects the type of all the joys that she has lost. How does she do this? By compelling transient substance into shape. She hopes by the creative act's release to o'erleap sometimes the gulf she cannot fill, to heal a while the wound of severance, escape from the moment's prison of littleness, and meet the eternal's wide sublimities in the uncertain time field portioned here. So we'll go back now and we'll see what this severance is, this wound of severance, of separation from this that she had once laid in the lap. And we see that she wants to bring back, erect again, the type of all the joys that she has lost. Because in this plane of existence, the joys are not eternal. She had them, she lost them. And therefore she has to take transient substances and turn them, compelling them even into shape. And by this creative act's release, she wants to overleap sometimes the gulf, the great gulf she cannot fill, and even to heal a while the wound of severance. Well, escape from the moment's prison of littleness and meet the eternal's wide sublimities in the uncertain time field portioned here. Well, this time field, of course, is our earthly existence. And she wants to heal this wound of severance. It's a deep wound for her because she has had this power that lay once on this lap of a beginningless and endless calm. And then she wants to get these sublimities, these wide sublimities. Sublimities are exalted or noble states or aspects. And this portion is parceled out. See, to heal a while the wound of severance, escape from the moment's prison of littleness. So in this plane there is seemingly a prison of littleness. She wants to escape from that. And she wants to meet the eternal's wide sublimities in the uncertain time field, portioned, parceled out, portioned here. So now he continues. Almost she nears what never can be attained. She shuts eternity into an hour. Oh, that reminds me of Blake's poem. Anyone know those 4 lines? Anyone? To hold eternity in the palm of a hand. I don't remember it all, but anyway, that's the sense here. She's shutting eternity into an hour and fills a little soul with the infinite. So she almost gets there. She wants to meet these wide sublimities of the eternal, actually in this time field portioned here. And she almost, see, there's a full stop after the word here. Almost she nears what never can be attained. She shuts eternity into an hour and fills a little soul with the infinite. The immobile leans to the magic of her call. She stands on a shore in the illimitable, perceives the formless dweller in all forms, and feels around her infinity's embrace. This creatrix is quite powerful. I mean, look what he tells us. Not only does she shut eternity into an hour and fill a little soul with the infinite, because in this plane it's still a little soul. The immobile, the divine, leans to the magic of her call. So he leans to it. He hears her, he feels her, and then there's a semicolon after the word call, and we see that she stands on a shore in the illimitable. Look at these words: immobile, illimitable, dweller, all synonyms for the divine. She stands on a shore in the illimitable, perceives the formless dweller in all forms. So this is in the transcendent consciousness, when the divine is only silent, invisible, formless, vast, and she perceives him in all forms and feels around her infinity's embrace. But what happens next? We have to see. Give me just a second. Okay. Her task, no ending knows. She serves no aim. but labors driven by a nameless will that came from some unknowable, formless vast. So we see that this energy, this nameless will that she's driven by, labors driven by this nameless will. And yet she doesn't know the ending of her task. She doesn't serve any specific aim, but she labors driven by a nameless will. And where did it come from? That came from some unknowable, formless vast. This is her secret and impossible task: to catch the boundless in a net of birth, to cast the spirit into physical form, to lend what I couldn't hear.
It was
Hello?
his microphone, so I switched off.
Okay. This is her secret and impossible task. What is it? 3 lines beginning with the word to catch the boundless in a net of birth, to cast the spirit into physical form, to lend speech and thought to the ineffable. She is pushed to reveal the ever unmanifest. This is what her secret is, and yet it's an impossible task. To catch the boundless. How can we catch the boundless in a net of birth? But that's what she's attempting to do. She wants to cast the spirit into physical form, which is definitely possible in our plane of existence. Not so much there yet. To lend speech and thought to the ineffable. Well, Sri Aurobindo says that the absolute is for us the ineffable. She is pushed to reveal the ever unmanifest. And Sri Aurobindo has an interesting statement here. It's always touched me very deeply. Whatever the manifestation may be, spiritual or material or other, it has behind it something that is beyond itself. And even if we reach the highest possible heights of the manifested existence, there would be still beyond that even an unmanifested from which it came. The unmanifested supreme is beyond all definition and description by mind or speech. No definition the mind can make, affirmative or negative, can be at all expressive of it or adequate. This is from the hour of God. It's very, very interesting because what she is doing, she is pushing to reveal the ever unmanifest. And the unmanifest, of course, then we've just heard what Sri Aurobindo has told us. Yet, by her skill, the impossible has been done. She follows her sublime, irrational plan, invents devices of her magic art. To find new bodies for the infinite and images of the unimaginable. She has lured the eternal into the arms of time. The infinite, Sri Aurobindo says in his essays, Divine and Human, even the words eternal and infinite are only symbolic expressions through which the mind feels, without grasping, some vague impression of this supreme. And Mother gives us this one, and I think I'll share that with you again, because she speaks to a young person about the infinite. And she says, it is very simple, as you will see. And then she gives two examples. The first example, the infinite is the inexhaustible storehouse of forces. The individual is a battery, a storage cell which runs down after use. Consecration is the wire that connects the individual battery to the infinite reserve of forces. And then she gives a second one, lovely. The infinite is the river that flows without cease. The individual is the little pond that dries up slowly in the sun. Consecration is the canal that connects the river to the pond and prevents the pond from drying up. How beautiful. So she follows her sublime, irrational plan. There's no rationality to this plan. It's far above rationality. Invents devices of her magic art. Why? To find new bodies for the infinite and images of the unimaginable, the inconceivable, the incomprehensible. Semicolon. She has lured the eternal into the arms of time. Because when the eternal has chosen to play this great game of evolution, birth and death, he is necessarily going to be in the arms of time. In his transcendent self, there is no time, there is no space. And I'll read a little bit more, maybe after a few lines, you could say a few things. Vladimir. Even now, herself, she knows not what she has done. For all is wrought beneath a baffling mask, a semblance other than its hidden truth. The aspect wears of an illusion's trick, a feigned, time-driven unreality, the unfinished creation of a changing soul in a body changing with the inhabitant. Of course, there are so many hints here of the psychic being. Vladimir?
Well, I have nothing. It's so full of meaning that there is no way to come anywhere.
Okay. Very good. So we see this semblance, this likeness, other than its hidden truth, this aspect that wears this illusions, like an illusion's trick, and a feigned, time-driven unreality. And what is that? It's the unfinished creation of a changing soul in a body changing with the inhabitant. Clearly evolutionary. So, could I ask someone to read today? I was thinking, who could read this? Natalie, how about you?
Sure, I can read.
Okay.
Her timeless power that lay once on the lap of a beginningless and endless calm, now severed from the spirit's immortal bliss, erects the type of all the joys she has lost, compelling transient substance into shape. She hopes by the creative act's release to overleap sometimes the gulf she cannot feel, to heal a while the wound of severance, escape from the moment's prison of littleness, and meet the eternal's wide sublimities in the uncertain time-field portioned here. Almost she nears what never can be attained. She shuts eternity into an hour and fills a little soul with the infinite. The immobile leans to the magic of her call. She stands on a shore in the illimitable, perceives the formless dweller in all forms, and feels around her infinity's embrace. Her task no ending knows, she serves no aim, but labors driven by a nameless will that came from some unknowable, formless vast. This is her secret and impossible task, to catch the boundless in a net of birth, to cast the spirit into physical form, to lend speech and thought to the ineffable. She is pushed to reveal the ever unmanifest. Yet, by her skill, the impossible has been done. She follows her sublime, irrational plan, invents devices of her magic art to find new bodies for the infinite and images of the unimaginable. She has lured the eternal into the arms of time. Even now, herself she knows not what she has done. For all is wrought beneath. For all is wrought beneath a baffling mask, a semblance other than its hidden truth. The aspect wears of an illusion's trick, a faint, time-driven unreality, the unfinished creation of a changing soul in a body changing with the inhabitant.
Very good. Only one thing, and that is the word or leap. When we have that apostrophe there, if we said overleap, it would be 2 beats, but it's or leap, 1 beat. So to keep the pentameter correct, we have to say or leap. To or leap sometimes the gulf she cannot fill.
Oh, thank you.
And you're welcome. What I've been doing lately with some of my students is asking them to be very aware of not dropping the last word, da-dum, da-dum, but carrying it through when there's no punctuation. And you do it very well. So we'll see you all hopefully next week. We'll try it, Vladimir.
Yes, yes, please. And make a recording, yes? So I will.
Okay.
If I am not there, if I'm there, then it's great. Because I will be
Yes,
traveling.
then it would be great. Okay. Namaste all.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.